You know, in this age of smartphones and cloud storage everywhere you look, you'd think the good old paper notebook would be, well, a relic, right? But just look around. They're literally everywhere. And they've totally evolved from, just a place for grocery lists into something way, way more personal.
So that's the big question, isn't it? In a world that is just flooded with apps and digital calendars for everything, why are we still buying paper notebooks? Well, the answer, as we're going to see, has a lot less to do with just getting stuff done and way more to do with who we are.
And wow, this slide just nails that shift perfectly. I mean, check it out. On the left, you've got the classic composition book. We all know this one, right? It's purely functional, just a blank canvas for your notes. But then on the right, a journal called Heights of My Femininity. See the difference? That's not just a tool anymore. It's a statement. It's a whole vibe, an aspiration.
All right, so here's what we're going to dive into. First, why we still love paper. Then we'll look at journals for self-discovery, notebooks built for specific tasks, the huge range of styles out there, and finally, how that cover becomes your personal billboard. Okay, first up, the enduring power of paper. It's more than just blank pages for sure. We're going to get into why. In this super digital world, the simple physical act of putting a pen to a real page, why that still feels so good.
And this quote, this right here, really gets to the heart of it all. It says, a person's choice of journal is a form of self-expression. And that's our whole idea in a nutshell. When you choose a notebook, you're not just buying paper. You're buying into an idea of yourself, or maybe even the person you're hoping to become.
So, speaking of self-expression, that brings us perfectly to our next section, journals for self-discovery. This is where things get really interesting, because the notebook stops being just a passive thing you write in, and it becomes an active partner in your own personal growth.
And this is such a perfect example. I mean, look at the cover. It's not just pretty decoration, it's basically giving you instructions. It literally says, I grow from self-discovery. So the journal is setting an intention for you before you even write a single word. It's like a prompt, a little mission statement you can carry around.
And trust me, this is not a one-off thing. We're seeing these big, powerful themes of identity and aspiration just popping up on covers all over the place. Words like hope, femininity, self-discovery, growth. These aren't just titles. They're selling a feeling, right? They're selling a goal, and these really personal ideas have become a huge part of why people buy them.
And this is just a brilliant example of how a simple design choice can completely change the vibe. So here we have the exact same Hope journal. But just look at the difference in the feeling you get from the warm, vibrant pink versus that cool, calm, kind of earthy green. You, the buyer, get to choose the look that actually matches your own personal idea of what hope even feels like. It's pretty cool.
But hey, it's not all about deep, personal soul-searching. Notebooks are still tools, right? Which brings us to our next point, tools for life's tasks. In this category, the cover design is way less about who you want to be and a lot more about what you need to do.
And what a great contrast this is. Seriously, you've got the ABC Adventure workbook on the left. It's all bright colors, fun cartoons. It just screams fun learning for a kid. And then on the right, the Budget Diary. Totally different. It's structured, graphic, it's got a pie chart on it. It visually tells you this is about organization, this is about control. The design itself is basically the user manual.
So this huge variety in design leads us right into our next section, a spectrum of style, because the aesthetic choices out there are just incredibly broad. They really do run the whole gamut, all the way from super minimalist to completely maximalist. So what do we actually mean by that? Well, minimalist design, that's your clean, simple, function-first approach. Basic fonts, lots of white space. Then you've got its total opposite, maximalism, and that's busy, it's decorative, it's super expressive, just packed with bold colors, wild patterns, and tons of creative energy.
And really, you could not ask for a better picture of what we're talking about. On the left, you have pure minimalism, just the word notebook on a black background. It's direct, it's functional, zero frills. Then on the right, pure maximalism. The Pretty Girl notebook is just an explosion of pink and florals and decorative stuff. The one you pick really says something about what you're looking for, doesn't it? Straight up utility or vibrant self-expression.
But hey, don't think that minimalism always has to be stark and, digital looking. It has range too. It can be really warm and elegant, like this daily journal. That simple script font on the craft paper background,
It just gives off this vibe of calm and thoughtfulness, like something natural and handmade.
So all of this, the themes, the tools, the styles, it all leads us to our final, and I think most important point. It's where we tie it all together, the cover as identity. This is the idea that this simple little object has become a way to make a really personal statement.
Because at the end of the day, it's just so much more than a cover. Really, it's a declaration of intent. I mean, think about it. When you pick up that budget diary, you're not just getting ready to track numbers. You're making a commitment to a goal. Picking up a hope journal, that's a conscious choice to be more optimistic.
And what it all boils down to is this. It's a reflection of you. Or maybe it's a reflection of the you that you want to be. It's your style, your goals, your dreams, all wrapped up in this one physical thing that you carry around with you.
Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. If your life were a notebook, what would its cover look like? Would it be minimalist and focused? Would it be totally maximalist and expressive? Or something else completely? It's a fun thing to think about next time you're in the stationery aisle. Thanks for tuning in.